The best predictor of success, the innate ability to allocate time properly. Keith Rabois. My friends, 10 to 15 minutes each and every day. You need to allocate that time for as long as it takes for you to master these charts. I encourage you on this each and every day. The reason I say it is because it is true, and it is the number one determining factor on how good you get. And guess what? 90+%, not quite 100%, don't do it, won't do it, can't do it. They just can't stick with anything. You be that person that does. I can tell when I meet someone, find out a little bit about them, and if they have that stick-to-itness nature and they will not give up, they will master the charts. That's what it comes down to. Let's jump into these charts today. Stocks are mixed. Everything else is up. Let's look at the S&P 500. Where are we this week? The high last week was 456.43. The high this week, 456.99. So it's up a little bit higher this week. It's hard to tell just looking at that candle. You can see things did start off higher than that prior 2-week average. Well, the trend line, we'll say, not average. So what do we see here? Well, we look at the 2-day. Again, you can see where things are slowing. Is it topping? We've seen this before on the 2-day. We've seen it on the half-day. So again, what we're, of course, tracking is from our jumping in point back in late March. We see where the jumping in point was. And, of course, we have had nothing but fairly clear sailing. We did have a sideways slide here, and then things ramped up again. That started in late April and ended there in mid-May, and then things took off to this latest round of higher highs. Quite beautiful. Is it coming to an end? I don't know. At some point it will. Up for the day, 0.02%. So again, we're watching, we're waiting. We can see this slide, and we wonder, is it going to just supercharge up again and pop higher, or is it going to roll lower? Nothing happening just yet. Now, the Qs is a little different. We look at the NASDAQ 100, we can see a smaller candle, not a higher high this week. We've just got a little bitty green candle there. It is above the weekly trend line. We can see 3 dojis, well, a spinning top here maybe in the middle. But again, as we see things slumping down toward the weekly trend line, on the half-day chart, you can see down in the morning and then lots of indecision in the afternoon. Like I said, down 0.32%. Is the NASDAQ 100 coming to its end finally? Don't know, my friends. We'll wait, watch, and see. Even when we had things take off in early January, let me move this up. I don't like this being in the way. But anyway, as we see in early January, where things ended going down into the year, as things started off, they slammed up. Then looked like everything was going to trash down. And then what happened? Slid sideways. We had a down week that took us out of that profitable trade, which is fine. We did well on that. And then things slid sideways and, of course, took off there like I was telling you. See that little, what I just did there, just a little trick for using these charts. When you do backtrack and you want to move forward, you just have to hit that little, and it brings you right up. I don't like to go quite that far, so I'll adjust it some. But that is where we are on our 2 stock indexes or indices. Now we're going to move on to 20-year bonds. Again, slipping sideways. We've got pretty much a doji for the week. You can see where, again, slipping sideways and down some on that 2-day chart. And again, pretty much the same. It was up in the morning, down in the afternoon, overall up 0.09%. Nothing I'm into right now on bonds because it's too lackadaisical, too dead. 2 weeks of down movement, then a week of up movement, and then nothing. So we're waiting to see. This high volume intrigues me because it makes me wonder who was buying all of this. I mean, look at all that volume there with a little candle. It's telling you insiders were doing something. This week, not much volume, so we will be paying attention. Somebody was either selling, well, people were selling and buying. Who was selling? Who was buying? we'll see that play out. If you've taken our training on volume, you have a much better understanding of what I'm talking about than the average person. Would encourage you to take that. In fact, I'm going to put it at the end of today's video for those of you interested in it. Very important. Jesse Livermore, one of the best stock traders of all times, talked over and over again about price and volume, as do we. That's why we use the volume and we use the candlesticks and, of course, our ever favorite trend lines. Let's move on to gold. Gold up for the day, 0.49%. The high this week is 183.64. Last week, 184.23, so we're not hitting that high yet. Again, up for the day, 0.5%, after going down for several days. The last day and a half moving up, which is good to see. Maybe gold's going to just keep on keeping on, percolating up. We'll see. And what do we see with Bitcoin? Still a down week for Bitcoin, up about 0.5% for today. Still below the trend line on the 2-day chart. That's the weekly trend line. Same on the half-day. So again, nothing exciting about Bitcoin. Nothing's getting me exciting. You know, the moves up, then taper off, and then move up again, and then taper off, then move up again. Just wondering, you know, is this just going to lead us to a crash, or is it just going to continue to meander, taking a lot of risk? You know, when particularly like this last up move, it during that week bounded up to just about where the high was. But as we watch Bitcoin, let's give you the big picture here. Let's bring this down and let you see sort of a... Now this goes all the way back to the creation of this ETF, not Bitcoin itself, but to this ETF that tracks Bitcoin. You can see how for many, many weeks it was heading down in 21. We got into 22, and then it tried to pop up there into March, April, and then hammered down all the way to mid-July of last year, up for 4 weeks, and then sort of meandered down all the way until January, sort of like stocks, and then ticked up, dropped over, scaring the crap out of you. Ticked up again, dropped over. And then it's ticked up one more time, but appears now to be rolling over. Is this going to go down with the market itself? Is this a portent of what's to come? I don't know, friends. I'm paying close attention to it. Don't particularly like the charts when it comes to, let me stretch this back out, when it comes to Bitcoin. But we will continue to watch, wait, and see. And again, it's at least interesting, if not very chartable. That is where we are as we end the day on Wednesday, go into Thursday. Hope you're paying attention to these charts. Hope you enjoy the volume training we're going to put at the end of today's video. We always appreciate you being with us. Be sure to like our videos, subscribe, and also share our channel with others. Remember, if you want to get our daily trainings each and every day that we put out, you need to go subscribe at chartingwealth.com. Just sign up for the email. We never spam or share that list. God bless my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.